Hi guys, my name is Jean. So today, this is my first video actually. So today, I'm going to share my 2025 Techo Kaigi. So what I use for 2025 is my true Hobonichi Weeks and my traveler's notebook. I also use my rings in the pocket rings in the middle of the year, but for now, I set this aside because I'm really busy. So for now, I use my Hobonichi Weeks. So my Hobonichi Weeks, I use this for as my weekly planner. This is a dated planner. Um, for this one, um, I use the Hobonichi Weeks. This one, I track my period. And for this one, I track my weight and workouts for the year, and sometimes I do the monthly, but I usually just fill the monthly up with the one with the weeklies. So in my weeklies, I usually use this at the start of the year. I use this as a memory keep journal since I was really busy and I don't have much time to write most of my days. So I just write in here memory keeping, and it was really a devastating end of the year in 2024. So I just memory keep here. And during the year, I usually split this one, the dot here, to make the events here, important events in the first column. And here, what I did is a memory keep or just a words that happened that day. And here I just made a rolling task that I need to finish this week, and just tick this off what day did I complete that, and just have a tick mark here. Also did a sleeping tracker. I added a sleeping tracker in the right side and important notes. So that's usually my weeklies. I also did some other format of the sleeping side here. Since I'm really too busy, I just did some short memory keeping in the left side. But later this year, so since I'm doing this here, I'm not using this because this is just new that I'm using at this mid-year. So what I did was, for my productivity planner, I used the pocket rings. So this is my pocket rings. Since this is a memory keeper at the start of the year, I use this to track. So I have my inbox, I have my trackers, I did some low buy, planner system, weight tracker, workout log, and things like that. Because this is so versatile that I could put anything in here. I also did a monthly. So sometimes I do my monthlies here and copy my monthlies in my Hobonichi Weeks. And then in my weekly, so my usual weekly is I just do my current task for the week, and I just list rolling tasks here and just tick that off and just transferred it here. So this is just a productive planning. I also did a daily, but I already transferred it. I have copied the one with Lindsay format, horizontal format, so that the rings won't keep the rings will be out of the way. So in here, also did finance, but not that much. So my health tracker, I just printed some monthly goals that I need to for my weight loss journey. So that's my pocket rings. But at the middle of the year, I started not reaching for this. So I just went and do this here. At the beginning of August, I did the productive planning in here. So in here, I have my habits, my rolling tasks, and I split this. And this one, the first column, is my events and the tasks for the day. This is more on just a productive planning. And since then, when I got the habit of reaching out for my journal again, then I started incorporating the traveler's notebook as my daily memory keeping, because I want to have a memory keeping. So in my traveler's notebook, this is my setup. This is the passport size. So in here I have the zip pocket. I have some tissue, and this is where I put my portable watercolor palette, and I also have a traveler's watercolor brush. It is from Semi Art. This one I got this from Taobao. This is the brand Nanako watercolor palette, and I just filled it up with Marie's watercolor paints, the artist watercolor paints. So that's the setup there. So here, this is a DIY insert that I made. I made the layout from Adobe Illustrator and just print and cut the paper to make this insert, because you just have to print it, and maybe sometime I will make a tutorial on how I make my insert. So this is an undated, so I just stamped this with a dated stamp. So this is my daily pages from August. I started in August 12. So I tried to paint one, but then I got tired, so I just write what happened that day, and I tried to print barcodes with this Nimbot that I bought for our hardware. So I also tried printing photos from this, but it is not very clear because you can only print black and white. So that's that. So in here and later here, I tried to paint watercolor illustrations of florals day by day, and I look for inspiration at Pinterest and just paint it. It is really fast because the paper is really small, and it could take space so that I could write it could take space, and so that I could write more little. Sometimes I have nothing to say with my journal, so I just paint it so it could take up space. So that's that. So for my September, I will not continue in this insert. So I made an insert that I already made. This one. This is a new insert that I will use for September. This one, I got this from Julia Dreams and printed it with my sticker paper. And this is the layout that I made from Adobe Illustrator. I just inspired with the Hobonichi Techo daily. I have the numbers here for the timeline for the day. I also made some division here in case that I want to use this. So this is the one that I'm going to use for my September. So next year, I'm thinking about, I'm not sure which one will I get for 2026, since it's still early. It's still 4 months before 2026. But I'm considering to buy a Hobonichi Weeks for 2026, because I've been really consistent with this, and I want to buy a Hobonichi Techo. But then thankfully they released a Kinbor Avec. So today I will going to unbox this Kinbor Avec for 2026. So the Kinbor Avec, this is a Hobonichi dupe dailies for the Avec. In my 2024, I did use a Hobonichi Techo Avec. I really like this one, the Hobonichi Techo, but then I didn't went with Hobonichi Techo in 2025 since of the because of the paper quality. I ordered the Hobonichi Techo, what do you call that, the hard bound one. I ordered that in 2025, but then when I checked the paper, it was really so thin that there are really issues with the Tomoe River paper, which I love. So I had an issue with here. In here you could see that there's really a bleeding in the later year. I already covered most of the part because it was really bleeding. This pen I used in my 2024 Hobonichi Weeks, but this year I don't know about the paper quality. So I sold my 2025 Hobonichi Techo and just keep this one for 2025. So what I want with my Hobonichi Techo is that it is split in 2 years so that it won't be that too chunky. In here, in my January to June, I was really putting so much pictures and was really too chunky, and if I get a one book, then it will be too chunky. So what I want is that there won't be any more space in here. And also I want to see the day of the day, like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because I really can't figure out what day I was writing. So that is important to me. And I think they only have the English version in a one book system, and they don't have the English version in the Avec. So that's my issue there with the Avec. They don't have an English version because I want to see what day it is and not just the number. And here you could see, and I don't really like the color. It is really too bright and too really, it's not my cup of tea, the color of this. So I just use a cover to cover this up. And in here you could see that I'm really using this, so that's why I want this for my 2025. But since there's a paper quality, I didn't use this. And for 2025, they don't have a two book system for the Kinbor, so I didn't order the Kinbor 2025 also. But this year, for next year, for 2026, they have the two book system for the A6 Techo. So I already opened this and I just put it in so you could see how it looks right from the packaging. So let's set this aside. So in here it has this calendar. You could see here the Techo, but it is written in Chinese. At the back, it is a 2026 calendar. And this is it, the two book for 2026. As you can see, this is the cover. I really like the cover. It is black and it has this gold foiling. I really love it compared with the Hobonichi Techo that it has this yellow and neon blue color that I don't really like. And in here you can see in the first page it has this black glittery color, and this one you can see the calendar for 2025, 2027 also have the 2026, the 2026 here in the right side, and the previous year 2025 and the next year for 2027. It also have this one, which I really like. You could use this as a tracker because in the Hobonichi Avec they don't have that one. They just go jump in the they have that one, but in the Hobonichi Weeks they don't have this format. So, I'm so sorry, my table is so small. My table setup is small right now. So here you can see, let me see, it also have, so the next one is that it has the monthly page. Also this one, they have the monthly page until they start on December in Hobonichi, while this one, the monthly page, they start in January. And this one, the Hobonichi, they have this turning the page New Year, while the Kinbor, they have this, they also have this turning a page New Year, but you could have a box grid in here that you could use as your goal tracker or annual tracker. And in the first page you have the January blank page. This is lined while this is blank. And in here the format is that you have the January one and you have the date. You have the date and the week. While this one, the Hobonichi, you also have the January 1 and the day of the day. But this one you can't tell if it is what day it is, because if you're not speaking Japanese then you can't understand this. And also it has the week 1 and moon. face. I think that's the moon face. They have the same format. It's just that the Kinbor doesn't have the quote here. So I will turn this page to a blank page so you could see. So this is the Kinbor. It doesn't have the quote here, and it just goes straight to the timeline. It starts at 7 and ends with 17, while this one, it starts with 6 and ends with 21 and 3 a.m. I think. So that's that. And my only issue with Kinbor is that the grid size is a bit small, because I don't write that too small, but I could still write with this. It's a tad bit small. I don't know if you could see, but in Kinbor it is like, I think, 3.1 mm grid size, while here in Hobonichi it is, I think this is 3.6, around 3.5 to 3.6 mm. So it's a bit smaller, but I could work with that. And the paper quality is Bachuan paper. This one is Tomoe River paper, which I really love, but this one, the paper quality is almost the same with the Tomoe River paper. So if you want a copy, because I don't still want to write with this, I have this is my 2025 Kinbor Weeks that I'm using for work. This is my, yeah. I have paper test here. So they didn't change the paper for the 2026, but for the 2026 weeks, they changed the paper to Kinbor Weeks. So that's why I didn't get the Kinbor Weeks for 2026. So this is the paper quality of Bachuan paper. You could see here that I'm using a fountain pen, and at the back it doesn't have any bleed through, only ghosting. This one we have a bleed through. This is Sukushi ink, yeah, but most of it doesn't have a bleed through. Okay. Compared to my 2025, this one, it really has a paper issue. The Hobonichi 2025 Weeks, it has a really bad, you can see here, especially this one. I use a Majan E1 with pilot vanishing point, fine nib. This is fine nib. I'm using there's ink in room burning, and you can see that it really bleeds through in this paper. In the previous years, I don't have issue with the paper quality of Tomoe, and hoping that also this one, you can see there's a bleed through. So I just usually use one pen for this because of the paper quality, and I don't really like it. I'm using the pilot vanishing point fine nib, and also the Jinhao EF fountain pen. With this ink, this is a permanent ink. This is Evening Bell fountain pen ink. It is a color, like coffee color. I love this ink. I'm already done with this. I'm going to buy one more. And what I like about this is, this is waterproof. So you could use this as for washes, like what I did. Sorry, like what I did here. I used that. This is the one that I use with this ink, and you could use this as wash line art for your watercolor, and it doesn't smudge after it dries with watercolor. So that's it. My first video is really long. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope to share more of my journals. But for now, this is my Kinbor Weeks for 2025, and I'm sure I'm going to use this for 2026, and I'm sure I'm going to use this for 2026. And for now, I'm going to use my Hobonichi Weeks and my Traveler's Notebook as memory keeping. That's it. Goodbye for now, and see you at my next video. Bye.